Hello, Jeremy of Cyclic Games here, solo indie dev, jack of all, master of none. Check out my links below to see what I have worked on, what I will be working on, namely this ongoing game, and also other stuff. If you're here, first, thank you. Second, you probably want to see what I'm doing. So, this is the first devlog for my latest game, HackingSlash. Working title. Part hack and slash, part speed platformer that takes place entirely in a digital hellscape. Or it will, when I get around to actually designing the environment stuff. Right now, it's more of a mechanic prototype. In this vlog, I'll focus on the original idea and gameplay loop. So, what do I have? Well, a character, for one, with some animations, a few attacks, a few textured assets, and a hoverboard sword. A hover sword, if you will. Think of these tunnels as highways. You ride your sword board through them and collect data, dodge hazards, and gain speed to reach your next destination. Over the next few months, I plan to add kind of a lot to this. Turns, split paths, power-ups, and more. HackingSlash is best described as drawing inspiration from games like Nier, Cube/Portal, and Sonic Riders, oddly enough. In concept, I want to have a more linear mode, maybe a smidge of story, and an endless challenge mode. But before you say that sounds like one of those lazy endless runner mobile games, well, be quiet. But also not quite. As you navigate obstacles, you will need to rotate sections of the highway. This can help you avoid death, reach split paths, or collect power-ups. More importantly, it adds a layer of complexity that makes things a little more interesting than your typical runner. The longer the game mode continues, the more difficult it may become to accurately time your rotations or movements. You will have a limited number of uses, but there are of course ways to refill the gauge through pickups or doing tricks. Yeah, there are tricks too. Speed also increases over time, or if the player chooses to use these boost tiles. You can also manually increase your speed by boosting, but when the gauge empties, you will default to your previous top speed. Now that you've seen a bit of the gameplay, let's look at how some of the blueprints actually function. I feel like that's something you should do in a devlog. Unreal Engine's amazing blueprint system has allowed me to do so much. This is the main character blueprint. As you can see, there is quite a bit of stuff in here. Has a fair amount of functionality, but that's not what we're going to be looking at right now. We are going to look at the hoverboard. Very simplistic in setup, as you can see. There's some stuff in here, but it's nothing super complex. Same goes for this. There's a little bit of code here that I will eventually reorganize and fix up, but for now this is fine. That's what I tell myself at least. But what we are going to look at here is how this actually works. So, as you saw in the little bit of gameplay footage, you move forward automatically when you are riding the hoverboard through the highways. It's at a set speed that will increase or decrease depending on your and external control, but you can move side to side. As you see here, you can jump, you can do tricks. There's a whole system for that tracks your score and whatnot as you move, so that's fun. And then as you move, you are using a constant line trace, very simplistic one, to rotate the stage. And here's an example of one of the track pieces that I'm using for the highway. It's a child blueprint that allows me to alter it and make everything super easy to work with. And as you can see here, it's a very simple timeline rotation that allows you to rotate the track, and it will spawn different things depending on what I decide and random variables and all that. And yeah, that's basically it for the in-depth hoverboard blueprint stuff. My code could definitely use a bit of work, and I'm constantly changing and scoping things out. Of course, I will add any future important alterations in later logs. But for 6-ish months of previous work on this game, seriously, it's come a long way. I think this is pretty good. What's that? What are bytes, you ask? Oh, you didn't ask? Don't worry about it. Just know, I have plans for it. As I mentioned before, there will also be power-ups, enemies, and more. So check back later for those as well. I'm going to aim to get one of these out every month or so. Hopefully I can stick to that. But next time, I will dive into the other half of this game. The actual hack and slash portion. And player combat. So if you're even remotely curious to see what direction this project is headed, stay tuned. This has been Jeremy from Cyclic Games, logging off.